continue to buy it. And after creating a great vacuum, they filled it with their image of God and spiritual consciousness, so that we now see and worship white, American, capitalistic, crazed, egomaniacal, tyrannical Jesus, all while rendering our ancestors and the gods they brought with them across the transatlantic to the status as sinful nature. So to rectify this translation inaccuracy fueled by false European language equivalents because they couldn't articulate our use of spiritual and natural technologies, they called our mothers and grandmothers witches instead of alchemists, and our fathers and grandfathers witch doctors instead of healers. And so to remedy, to resolve, to mend or repair this rupture, we go back and fetch our collective roots of ritual practice to create a spiritual container to hold our communal truths. In the healing wisdom of Africa and in the intimacy of the spirit, Malidoma and Sabonfu Somé respectively explain the centrality of ritual in the maintenance of communal health. Both posit that ritual is the cornerstone and the spiritual substance around which all life evolves. In traditional African communities, there is a ritual response to every phenomenon. Birth, death, marriage, natural occurrences, and trauma. Ritual is the context through which all life experiences are negotiated. The point of ritual is to unite the living with the already lived. They contend that ritual fuels healing of the psyche and the body. So we open this 2019 Samuel D. Whit Proctor Conference making an epistemological shift, whereby we become the subjects and agents of our change by pausing, by decentering and redressing Eurocentric standards of knowledge and praxis, including those within the spiritual and religious realm that we are so fond of. We acknowledge the cry for black blood spilled prematurely and unjustly, and how they have become far too soon our ancestors by pouring a libation at this altar of repair. We need to repair. For our current iteration of black Christian worship provides room for shouting. It provides room to witness miracles. But does it provide room for lament? Does it provide room for wailing? Does it provide room for truth-telling? Does it provide room for reciprocity? Does it provide room for wisdom-bearing? What happens when we take our burdens of dehumanization caused by a series of oppressions to the Lord to leave them, and then seemingly it feels like the Lord has given them back? So we pour this libation, a ritual act of prayer that honors requests and cites the unseen with the unseen. It is the ritual that calls forth, in the words of Reverend Dr. Marquita Carmichael Carruthers, that we came here to do work. This ain't no vacation. So this means that there is a particular type of energy we need. We need and we call on and deploy the oracular powers of our primordial mothers, the sacred empowered mothers, those who have the capacity to create and transform places and systems and issue balance to imbalance, interlocking forces via formidable speech and divine authority, those that summons desires into reality. Ashe. We call on those identified in Jeremiah 9 as the wailing women, the wise and skilled women, to aid us in bearing our truth, to guide us in a life of reciprocity in the ways of knowing. And so we call on Ella Baker, Ashe. We call on Bree Newsom, Ashe. And Patrice Cullors, Ashe. And Opal Tementi, Ashe. And Alicia Garza, Ashe. And Sandra Bland, Ashe. And Mary Hooks, and Aminata Umoja, and Leah Daughtry, and Maxine Waters, and Nahanda Touré, and Ashada Shakur, and Nahanda Abiadun, and Angela and Fanya Davis, and Katie Geneva Cannon, and Lois Johnson, and Fannie Lou Hamer, and Brenda Foster, and Spencer Neighbors, and Tanya Fields, and Yvonne Delks. We call on them to guide us